Good morning, Zio here, and today is Sunday, which means it is time for the Sunday Gaming Roundup, where we go ahead and we take a look at all the things that we've talked about and discussed this week, and then a few other things that I just never got around to making a video for. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it, shall we? So for this week, we talked about quite a few things. We talked about another Fallout hack that seems to be a hack that is quite the hack. Is that a good way to put it? That is a horrible way to put it. It's like giving you developer options or something. You know, no clipping, junk and scrap looters, item containers, NPCs, enabling action points, changing the jump height, things like that. Yeah, it is definitely just an all-encompassing hack, which is pretty devastating. And of course, if you are new here and you want to know more about what it is that we're talking about, of course, what we discussed throughout the week, everything will be linked in the description down below just for you, so you can go ahead and take a look at it. And leave a thumbs up on the video, why don't you? I really like that. Anyway, so yeah, we talked about a Fallout hack that apparently came out the previous week, and it had issues, of course. And we also talked about how Bethesda was making things right for the previous major hack where people were stealing inventories. So we did talk about that. And then we moved into Silent Hill news, because apparently there's a rumored multiple titles, at least two, rumored to be in the works or thought about or talked about, something like that. And it could be a possibility, which would be great. A good, nice horror game that's not Resident Evil would be fantastic. I mean, nothing against Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil just fine, but it'd be nice to have some variety. And you know, so talking about that, PT and a few other things. Yeah, we went into this and just sort of took a gander at what could possibly be in the works from Konami, especially since Konami's in the business of pachinko machines. But yeah, we're hoping, just if it does happen, maybe it's going to somebody who can handle the IP and actually take care of it and do it justice, not Konami. They outsource it, Konami. Please, just do it. I don't think you guys have what it takes anymore to make a great game great anymore. Anyway, so beyond that, we talked about Nintendo. Let's see. We did, Nintendo is suing people. We've talked about Nintendo so much, I kind of get confused on what part we're actually on. Anyway, no, there were some leakers, right? And we talked about this in the past, and we talked about it again, and we talked about it this week. You know, they got some people, they were getting discovery on Discord and things, so they could go ahead and find these people and sue them for everything they're worth, because, you know, Nintendo is claiming irreparable major damage after it sold 16 million copies or something like that, or $16 million worth, or gosh, I don't remember what the number was. Anyway, I talked about it there, but anyway. anyway, yeah, so we did talk about what they did find. However, they found who was leaking things, and it turned out to be a reviewer of sorts. And yeah, that's a big issue there, considering there were contracts involved and things. So yeah, Nintendo, if Nintendo follows through with all that, somebody's going to have some issues. And then we talked about good old loot boxes, surprise mechanics in FIFA, and two French lawyers who are apparently going after EA. And apparently, EA is now copyright striking videos that talk about them. Luckily for me, I'm small enough to fly under the radar, and maybe they'll never notice yet. So I can talk freely about EA, because, you know, EA sucks and all that jazz. But we did have a discussion about that, loot boxes, gambling, the rating system, the ESRB and stuff. So that was a fun, nice little discussion that we had about that, while looking, of course, at this thing here, where they're suing them, just like the Netherlands, and I think Belgium's the other place, and other European countries are starting to come down really, really hard on loot boxes in general and that whole mechanic, as well as the US is finally starting to look into it as well, which maybe just maybe we could do something about it, so maybe we're not filled with so many microtransactions. Then we talked about Anthem, right? Anthem, apparently, we talked about this a while back, a redone Anthem, where they're talking about just re-updating it, or maybe they were trying to do patches or whatever, and they finally have figured out, it's not going to be something that can be done in a few patches. They're going to have to rework the entire game. And of course, we went over how one could probably go about doing this fairly to the fans who are still there, because believe it or not, I know there are people still playing this game. I know you're still playing it. You still love it. That's fine. And the game, I wish it the best. I really do, because I think it'd be kind of fun to fly around in the the mech suits and such. They're not really mech suits, but the Iron Man armor-esque suit. I guess it's the best way to put it, because when you talk about mechs, you're talking about a big, heavy mech assault type style of things, Gundam, that sort of thing. So these are more Iron Man-esque armors with a bit of Destiny thrown in there kind of deal. But it looked great. I'm not knocking it. I really do wish this game the best, and hopefully they'll be able to do a complete overhaul and update to this game and make it a good game. Especially since they've been forced to use the systems that they're using and all that other good jazz and everything else. And it is BioWare. We've seen BioWare do great things in the past. BioWare can still do great, but a certain company out there has got to let them do their job instead of trying to get them to push out crap and then scuttling them later. We don't need that. But anyway, so the next on the docket, the new thing, Pokemon Home. Pokemon Plan, a Pokemon Premium thing. It's this thing to house your Pokemons, your Pokemans, and all that other good jazz. Why does it exist? Nintendo, F off. Seriously. Anyway, no, seriously. I've talked about this in the past. I don't remember which video it was, but I did talk about this in the past. There is no reason for this system to be in play. See, we had Pokemon Bank, and it was like $4.99 or something for 12 months to have Pokemon Bank, and it will house your Pokemon. And the system itself is fine. I like the idea of the system where you can take your things off your game, and put it into something else, and then you can retrieve it there from later or trade it into another game or something like that, right? I like that function. However, it doesn't need to be a service that requires constant upkeep. All it needs is an app on a phone or on the Switch or on the DS or wherever it was. That was it. It just needed to be an app that can facilitate the transferring of Pokemon from your game to the app to then be housed and looked at. So then when you say pop in the next game into the system, you can then bring them from Pokemon Bank into the game. And the same thing for Home is true. That's why I'm talking about Bank. Bank and Home are essentially the exact same thing, except for one is on the Switch and it has more functionality, right? That's about it. But these are the premium plans and people are not happy about it, and I don't blame them. 16 flippin' zenny. 16 for 12 months worth of service for a service plan that you don't need. See, this idea would be fantastic if one thing was true. If a majority of Pokemon players out there were taking their games with them to other people's Switches or using other people's DSs and needed immediate access to Pokemon that are in their bank. That is the only way this system is necessary. And I am willing to bet that nobody ever does that, ever in the history of ever. Just gonna say it out there. Nobody does it. It really just needs to be an app that you install that is purely on your device. And because all these devices that Pokemon exist on are carry devices. They're devices that you can pick up like your phone and take it with you on the go. The Switch and the DS, it doesn't need that cloud connectivity to house your Pokemon. You can write the script and the app to house 6,000 Pokemon. But let's take a look at this real quick. You've got premium prices for this premium service that gives you the best ever in Pokemon something and others. Anyway, for 1 month it's $2.99, 3 months it's $4.99, and 12 months it is a total of $15.99, excluding tax, by the way. Excluding, really? Not including? Anyway, so it's actually going to cost you more because it's going to be taxed. We're looking at, in my state, that $15.99 is actually going to be around $16.50 maybe. Let's see. 16. Yeah, 16, 17, something close to 17. Anyway, I can't do math right now. I never can do math. So what does it do? What does your premium plan upgrades allow you to do? The basic allows you to move Pokemon from Pokemon Bank. The basic doesn't allow you to, but you get that ability from premium. So not only do you have to pay for Pokemon Bank, but now you also have to pay for Pokemon Home, so you can take your things from Pokemon Bank to get it to Pokemon Home. Or, you could just put it in, forget it. Anyway, the number of Pokemon that can be deposited. In basic, you can have a total of 30 Pokemon sitting there, apparently. You've got a whole box, a little over a box. In premium, you can house 6,000, which, a lot of Pokemon. That's not bad, actually. But number of Pokemon that can be placed in the Wonder Box at a time, 3 versus 10. Number of Pokemon that can be placed into the GTS at once, 1 versus 3. Now, not gonna lie, but being able to put 3 Pokemon onto the GTS at once isn't bad at all. It's not $16 worth or anything, but it's not really that bad of a thing. That's actually a pretty cool function. Room trades, you can participate. If you got the premium, you can participate and you can host as well. Judge functions unavailable for basic, while it's available for the premium. Yep. That's Pokemon Home. And it's available now. But anyway, yeah, I understand why people are ticked off about that. There's really no point to having that. It should just be a program, add it to your Switch. Maybe I can see a one-time purchase of like $2.99 or something. Or $5.99, something like that. Especially if you decide to make all future games, of course, work with the system. You got to purchase it the one time, and so on and so forth. And it's good. I can maybe see that. This way, Nintendo's still making a bit of money, but at the same time, they're not really having to upkeep the Pokemon. They just gotta, update the program, which has got to be a lot easier than maintaining a server full of thousands upon billions of Pokemon. But anyway, that is where we're going to end it. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.